This is 3-year-old Yunus, and he is taking his last breaths. In 20 minutes, he will die. He had been sick for days, but there was no clinic near his village. By the time his father brought him by motorcycle to this hospital in the town of Mocha, he had a high fever and was motionless. When Yunus passed, his father wept. The medical staff showed no emotion. This was not the first child they had watched die. Yunus died possibly from a viral infection, his doctor told me. In most parts of the world, this is treatable. My name is Sudarshan Raghavan, and I'm a correspondent for the Washington Post. I visited Yemen in late May to report on the humanitarian toll the civil war has taken on civilians. Yunus is a victim of what the UN describes as the world's most severe humanitarian crisis. Today, a child dies every 10 minutes from preventable causes. After 3 years of civil war, the culprits include disease, deepening poverty, and dire medical shortages resulting from the nation's upheaval. The war pits northern rebels known as Houthis against the internationally recognized Yemeni government, which is backed by a Saudi Arabia-led regional coalition and the United States. The conflict has killed more than 10,000 civilians and displaced more than 3 million. More than 270 hospitals and clinics have been destroyed or damaged by the war. Even in functioning hospitals across the south, there were shortages of medicines, staff, and equipment.
الوضع الصحي بشكل عام يعني مزدني عندنا شوية.
The health situation here is a little deteriorated.
منتشرة أمراض كثيرة.
A lot of diseases have spread.
في مقدمتها تجي الملاريا. الملاريا بشكل أساسي.
Mainly malaria.
إسهالات.
Diarrhea.
وأمراض الجهاز التنفسي. وفي برضه الأمراض المستعصية زي مرض السكر وضغط الدم.
How many doctors do you have? كم عدد الدكاترة اللي عندكم هنا بالمستشفى؟
الآن 3.
3 doctors for the whole hospital. المستشفى كامل.
In Aden, Mocha, and Koka, all areas under the control of the Saudi-led coalition, I met many Yemenis who had fled recent airstrikes and clashes in their villages, mostly from areas near the strategic port city of Hodeidah, which is currently gripped by fighting. Some of the uprooted said they had snuck away from their villages in the middle of the night. The rebels, they said, were stopping people from leaving and trying to recruit their children to fight.
متى قمتم الصباح؟
قمنا فجر.
ايش اللي حصل؟
طائرة
طائرة كانت تحوم؟ كان صوت ايه؟
ايوه هذيلا وعام صايحوا ذيلا القدورة والحريم صايحوا هربنا من طائرات هربنا من الشاشات من دافعوا الحوتان عمدوا عندنا وذيك شايم الحوتان عندنا والمقاومة من الشام ذي يضربوا سمعنا وحتى ضربوا غرق والطيران فوق.
لقموا الأراضي شلوا قنا الطماط البسباس العام بالموز لقموا الأراضي علينا خلوا نحن نخور حاجة بعد كنا نخرجنا نرعي المواشي ودبحوهن علينا وأكلوهن يرمون فوق بيوتنا.
The displaced have sought shelter wherever they can find it. In unfinished houses with no roofs, decrepit tents made of blankets, tarpaulin, and cardboard. There was a collective sense of hopelessness. They wanted desperately to return home, but few believed that the war would end soon. Many told me they had placed their fates in the hands of God.